Imagine waking up tomorrow to a world where the financial news channels are not talking about stocks or crypto, but about a global currency reset. And right at the center of that conversation is the currency you've been holding onto for years, the Iraqi dinar. What if I told you that the behind-the-scenes mechanism that could make that a reality, often referred to in the inner circles as Tier 4B, is not just a theoretical concept discussed in hushed tones, but is, according to multiple streams of geopolitical and financial data, actively in motion right now as we speak. This isn't about hope or speculation anymore. This is about observing a sequenced, procedural unfolding that has been decades in the making. And for every dinar holder watching this screen, understanding this motion is the difference between being a passive spectator and a prepared participant in what could be the most significant wealth transfer event of our lifetimes. Let's be very clear from the outset, we are not dealing with rumors or the typical, any day now, rhetoric that has admittedly fatigued this community in the past. The phrase Tier 4B is in motion specifically points to a phase within a larger established international financial architecture, often linked to the Bretton Woods system's evolution, where the foundational layers of global trade and currency valuation are being reconfigured. Think of it as the final software update being installed on the global financial mainframe before the new system goes fully live for the public. This process, Tier 4B, is believed to be the stage where the new exchange rates for certain currencies, including the Iraqi dinar, are being finalized, authenticated, and prepared for international release through a secured bilateral banking channel that operates outside of the public eye. The evidence for this motion is not found in a single press release from Baghdad or Washington, but is instead pieced together through a mosaic of correlated events. Observe the relentless and unprecedented diplomatic shuttling between Iraq and key global powers, not just politically, with their central bank governors and finance ministers taking center stage. Look at the recent and almost quiet removal of the final international sanctions hurdles, the sudden acceleration of Iraq's integration into the global STewFT financial messaging system without the previous restrictions, and the series of strategic monetary reforms enacted by the Central Bank of Iraq that have nothing to do with the local economy and everything to do with aligning with International Monetary Fund Article V compliance, which is a non-negotiable prerequisite for a stable, internationally recognized currency. Furthermore, the banking correspondent relationships that were once severed are now being re-established at a staggering pace, with European and Asian banks suddenly opening direct liquidity channels with Iraqi financial institutions. This is the plumbing of the financial world being rebuilt, and it is this plumbing that is required to handle the immense volume and value of transactions that a revalued dinar would necessitate. For the dinar holder, motion means that the abstract dream of a revaluation is now transitioning into a tangible, logistical reality. The focus is shifting from to how and when. The when is still the great variable dictated by the final synchronizations between the political, economic, and security sectors within Iraq itself, ensuring the nation is stable enough to bear the weight of a strong currency. But the how is what you need to understand today. This period of motion is your final window of preparation. It is the time to ensure your documentation is in perfect order, to have a clear and rational plan that transcends the initial euphoria of a bank deposit, and to understand the profound responsibility that comes with financial liberation. The system is moving, and it is forcing every single one of us to move with it, to get our affairs in order, because when this transition completes, it will not be a gentle ripple, but a global financial tsunami that redefines everything we thought we knew about money, value, and freedom. So what does this tangible reality of Tier 4B's motion actually mean for you, the dinar holder, in practical, actionable terms today, not in some distant theoretical future? It means the conversation is fundamentally shifting from the speculative, why you hold the dinar, to the absolutely critical, what happens next, once this process reaches its logical conclusion. The moment the new rate goes live across the international banking platforms, a sequence of events will be triggered that will unfold with a speed that will leave the unprepared reeling, and the informed poised to act with clarity and purpose. The first 24 to 72 hours will be a period of unprecedented global financial chaos and media frenzy. News outlets will scramble to explain what a currency revaluation is to a bewildered public. And the name Iraqi dinar will be on the lips of every financial analyst and every person on the street, creating a tidal wave of attention that will be both overwhelming and dangerously misleading. Your first and most crucial shield against this chaos is a pre-established personal plan of action that you have written down, reviewed, and internalized long before the notification ever hits your phone. This plan must begin with the absolute imperative of discretion. The moment the rate is public, you become the custodian of life-changing wealth, and that information is a liability if shared indiscriminately. Your immediate circle of friends, family, and even casual acquaintances will not be your source of sound financial guidance. Their reactions will be driven by emotion shock and their own lack of preparation. Your first call should not be to celebrate, but to activate your plan, starting with your pre-vetted financial professional or the dedicated, appointment-only asset protection desk at your chosen institution, not the local bank branch where you might face untrained tellers and overwhelming crowds. The process of exchanging your currency will be a structured bureaucratic procedure, not a simple swap at a corner kiosk. It will involve stringent international anti-money laundering and know your customer protocols that will require your passport, your original purchase receipts, and a clear, verifiable paper trail for the funds you intend to deposit. This is why the motion period is your golden hour to organize every single document, to ensure your passport is valid, and to have all your dinar notes secured and accessible. But the exchange is merely the first gate. The true test begins with what you do with the capital immediately afterwards. The sudden influx of wealth will be a psychological and emotional earthquake, and without a fortress of a plan, you risk making impulsive decisions under the influence of this euphoria that could erode your fortune in a matter of years. This is where your second layer of preparation comes in, the mental and educational fortification. You must right now begin to educate yourself on the basic principles of wealth preservation, understanding the differences between liquid assets, long-term trust, and strategic philanthropic giving. You must learn the language of private banking, of wealth managers, and of tax attorneys, not to become an expert, but to be an informed client who cannot be easily misled. The post-revaluation landscape will be swarming with opportunists, from family members with sudden business ideas to financial advisors pushing high-commission, unsuitable investment products designed to transfer your wealth to their pockets. Your defense is the quiet confidence that comes from having a plan crafted during this period of calm before the storm. This plan should outline not just your first financial steps, your personal goals. What does this wealth truly mean for your life, your family's legacy, and your purpose? Defining this why now will anchor you when the winds of temptation and external pressure are at their strongest. The motion of Tier 4B is the starter's pistol signaling that the time for passive waiting is over and the era of active, deliberate preparation has begun. Your journey from holding a currency to stewarding significant wealth is about to begin, and the quality of that journey will be determined entirely by the decisions you make and the plans you formulate in this critical final window of opportunity that is open right now. Now, let's project forward into that new reality, beyond the initial exchange and the first flurry of financial decisions, to the profound and lasting legacy that this event is truly about. Because if you believe this journey ends at the bank, you have missed the entire point of the financial liberation that a revaluation represents. The activation of Tier 4B and the subsequent revaluation of the dinar is not a final destination. It is the ignition key for a global economic and humanitarian renaissance that you, as a prepared dinar holder, are now being invited to help lead. This is the deeper why that transcends personal luxury and speaks to a collective shift in human consciousness. Imagine the capital that will be unleashed, not just into your personal account, but into the global economy. Trillions of dollars of previously dormant value suddenly becoming active liquid and seeking purposeful investment. This is not about creating a new class of millionaires who simply consume. This is about funding the future of humanity itself. We are talking about the capital required to finally achieve scalable, clean energy solutions that can free nations from the shackles of fossil fuel, dependency, and geopolitical blackmail. We are talking about the resurrection of sovereign agriculture and food production systems that can end hunger and create real food security across the globe. We are talking about the full-scale development and deployment of medical technologies like frequency healing and advanced water purification systems that can eradicate disease and provide clean water to every single human being on the planet. This is the scale of change that this financial event facilitates. It is the necessary capital catalyst for what has been called the Great Awakening, or the Golden Age, a period where resource-based economies can flourish and where abundance, not scarcity, becomes the default human condition. Your role in this is pivotal. You are the initial conduit for this capital. The wealth that flows to you is a stewardship, a responsibility to co-create this better world by aligning your investments with your values. This means consciously directing your funds towards companies and projects that are committed to ethical practices, environmental regeneration, and human advancement. It means using your newfound financial sovereignty to support independent media that reports truth without manipulation, to fund education systems that teach critical thinking instead of indoctrination, and to empower local communities to become self-sufficient and resilient. The old world structure, the one built on debt, control, and artificial scarcity, is being systematically dismantled because its financial foundation is being pulled out from under it, and the revaluation is a key part of that demolition process. You are not just witnessing history, you are being called upon to bankroll a new one. This is why the psychological and spiritual preparation during this motion phase is just as important as the financial and logistical planning. You must fortify your mind against the old paradigm's temptations of greed, fear, and isolation. You must cultivate a mindset of abundance, generosity, and interconnectedness, understanding that your true security will not come from hoarding wealth in an offshore account, but from actively participating in building a world where such security is the birthright of every individual. The moment the new financial system goes fully live, the race begins between those who will use their wealth to build a brighter future and the remnants of the old guard who will try to cling to power through distraction and division. Your preparedness determines which side you will actively support. This is the ultimate call to action, to see yourself not just as an investor, but as a future philanthropist, a patron of a new renaissance, and a guardian of the coming generations. The quiet preparation you do now, the networks you build with like-minded individuals, and the vision you hold for a world healed will define your impact far more than the balance in your bank account. The motion is real, the finish line is in sight, and the future of our world is quite literally waiting for you to get ready to step up and to help build it. This is the moment your patience and foresight have been for. The information in this video is your roadmap. Your next step is critical. Go beyond watching. Your preparation is what will separate you from the crowd when history unfolds. I want you to act now. First, hit that like button and subscribe with notifications on if you have not already, because the updates are coming fast, and you cannot afford to miss the next critical piece of information. Second, and most importantly, go to the comment section right now. I want you to type, "I am prepared," if you have your documents in order and your plans set. This is not just a comment. It is a declaration of your readiness and a way to connect with other prepared individuals in our community. Let's build this network of the prepared right here, right now. Your future self will thank you for taking this simple but powerful step today.